Good evening, everyone. We have just seen the end of Survivor Series, or at least I have. And I thought I'd pop on again and give some instant reactions. Please, if you can, give me a quick like, because that really helps this grow. And if I'm going to stick to it, I'd like to do that. So, Survivor Series officially in the books. It had a lot to follow up with War Games beforehand, a lot of very good matches, and the match quality once again very high. When it comes to the final score, very interesting. Started off quite hot. We had a very even spread, one match each for the Battle Royal, which I wasn't entirely sure of the rules, gotta be honest. Wasn't the best person maybe to ask about that one because it came out of nowhere. There was a Cruiserweight match when the championship could have gone to Raw or SmackDown despite being an NXT championship. Bit unusual. And then the Viking experience gave someone a Viking experience. Not much of a surprise there. But I'm going to try and keep this short, but still try and get through all the matches, so I'm sure you can understand that's not going to be easy. We start with the women's elimination match, which was an odd one. Few character inconsistencies. Charlotte Flair just abandoned the idea of winning a match. Asuka just abandoned the idea of winning the match, but the match may in fact still be ongoing because Asuka was not officially eliminated, and as we now know, if you leave the match, you can still come back again. That's just fine. Yeah, confusing one. Rhea Ripley held Bianca Belair's feet on the ropes to ensure one pin, and then got help from Candice LeRae, who left and then came back uninjured. Cheating? Not cheating? Decided to just go for a while with Io Shirai, who Io Shirai makes sense. Heel. Candice LeRae not so much. She is after all Mrs. Wrestling. But maybe she's been learning some bad habits. NXT won the match, surprise to me, but fair enough. We move on to, I've got my little notes up there as I'm sure you can see. We move on to Styles, Shinsuke and Roderick Strong, which was brutal in the best possible way. Lots of very firm hits from each man. Everyone looked good. They made a very clever finish, which seems to happen a lot to AJ in triple threats. He gets kicked out at the last moment. That's how Baron Corbin won the US title from him, for example. Roderick Strong taking the win, and from that moment, NXT could not be caught. They were definitely winning, at least joint winning. So, tough one to get your head around initially, because it's their first time there. But yeah, I think we can all accept after watching Survivor Series, there's no point watching Monday or Friday nights anymore. All the talent is on Wednesdays. That's the message they're trying to send. That's the message I get. That's definitely the message I get. So I don't know why you bother watching Monday or Fridays. We moved on to, checking my notes again, we moved on to Adam Cole and Pete Dunne. Or what essentially ended up being was the Nigel McGuinness versus Jerry Lawler talk-off. Not the best moment for anyone involved. That may have been the last match as well, to be fair, but there was a lot of conversation. Adam Cole won this one in, again, what was a very physical, very violent match, Pete Dunne style. A bit slower paced, but that worked out for everyone. It was very NXT in that both men kicked out of a finisher. Both men looked strong, even though they'd been through a war previously. I think Adam Cole came out looking the stronger despite going through all the tables at the end of War Games. Very good look for him. Pete Dunne made a good showing of himself. Bit of bad luck near the end in a clever reversal from Adam Cole and two Panama Sunrises. I don't want to be the guy that takes those on the apron. It's the hardest part of the ring, don't you know? After that, we moved on again to what seems to be the men's elimination match. If I missed any, I apologize. I am trying to keep this short and I only have a certain amount of notes. And if you haven't noticed, I'm not wearing my glasses because yesterday all you saw was glare and I wanted to make sure that didn't happen again. So the camera's a bit higher and the glasses are gone. We move on to the men's, which made the crowd unhappy to say the least. Walter eliminated early, Matt Riddle eliminated very quickly. Braun Strowman eliminated in typical he's too big to lose fashion by having him counted out. It was a confusing one. They saved Rollins and Reigns for the end. interesting choice. It was a means to an end, though. I do get what they were going for with this. Quite often in the Royal Rumble, as a perfect example, Roman Reigns plays heel so that the last person who eliminates him gets a big pop. Happened with Shinsuke Nakamura, happened with Randy Orton before that. So Roman Reigns is sort of the perfect runner-up. That's why we ended up here. Keith Lee looking fantastic, beating Rollins, coming so close to beating Reigns. But I think it was the right call not to let that happen. Not just because Roman Reigns is Roman Reigns, and Keith Lee did get a lot and had that endorsement at the end. Great look for him. But also because, and with everything that followed, it would have been an absolute just procession by NXT. There would have been no point watching Monday or Fridays. One match I do want to come back to at this point is Daniel Bryan against The Fiend, because I do realise I didn't click that one in. But unfortunately, there's not that much to say. It's exactly the match he had with Rollins at Crown Jewel. It's exactly the match he had with Baszler at SummerSlam. The Fiend takes a beating and then wins the match. And the red light was showing. The format's going to run dry very quickly. It's going to be a problem, and it seems to be the case with Bray Wyatt. It all goes well. The character is fantastic. I'm a huge Bray Wyatt fan. But when he gets in the ring, it's just not very exciting. There was a lot of intrigue behind Daniel Bryan, but the crowd very nearly turned on Bray Wyatt by the end, just because Daniel Bryan's is more interesting. And that's me saying that about Bray Wyatt and The Fiend. Everything going on there. He's got a great character, but his ongoing story just isn't there. What is the story of The Fiend going forwards? It's just to continue to be the exact same. Nothing changes, nothing evolves, there's no journey. I'm hoping that gets addressed soon. I'm hoping they add a little bit more. Bray Wyatt, I know, has a lot to offer. I am very excited to see more and development and character development, but that's not a strength that Bray Wyatt has ever really had. It's a shame. He's such an interesting character if you look at him in the way that he follows the cult of Sister Abigail rather than leads it. But what's going on now? Hopefully we get to a point where he at least starts to worry about the mask coming off, because I feel that's the next logical step. We'll see what happens there. Following on, we had the men's elimination. Then after that we went to Brock Lesnar and Rey Mysterio in Doink gear, which I don't know how many people track back this far, but there was a whole team of Doinks one year for Survivor Series. A year I watched many, many years after it happened. I believe it was against Jerry Lawler, actually. I may be mistaken. Please help if you know that one. I'm not going to Google it because it's 3:30 in the morning, and once I've done here, I'm going to bed. That match went pretty much as expected. Ray got a bit of offense in, but not much. Dominic interfered. He was going to throw the scarf in, but they didn't have a scarf, so he ended up nearly throwing the towel in. And they had a couple of good moments of offense. Dominic is over. So whatever they've been doing there has definitely been working. There's been a couple of false starts, so well done to Dominic, well done to Rey Mysterio, but it wasn't enough. Two men can't stop Brock Lesnar. Nothing can stop Brock Lesnar. What we know from a fact that only a member of the Shield can stop Brock Lesnar, and not Dean Ambrose. Not that member of the Shield. Only a member of the Shield, but not you. Not you. That match ended with a massive German suplex off the top for Dominic, and then an F5 for Rey Mysterio. So Brock does his sort of usual thing of escaping with a victory. He puts on good matches. That's a good way to do it. Gets the crowd hyped. And the crowd were hyped going into the main event, which was the first time Bayley or Shayna Baszler had main evented a pay-per-view. Very good night for them in that regard. The match, unfortunately, not so much. There was a real display of unfamiliarity. There wasn't much chemistry. Bayley, unfortunately, botched a couple of times. I think it was lack of rehearsal time. They fell back on punches too much. There weren't many actual wrestling moves. There weren't many combinations. They didn't connect as a trio very much. It's a real shame. Eventually, it was Shayna Baszler who got the win. Bayley tapping out, as is Bayley's wont to do. So Thatcher and Bayley having a bit of a rough night. Baszler with the win means that NXT moved to 4 for the total score. The closest competitor was SmackDown with 2, and then Raw with 1. So I get the message. Watch Wednesday nights. We'll see in the next couple of days how this plays out long term. Hopefully it does, because last year there was a clean sweep for Raw and then nothing really happened to follow it up. I doubt that will be the case, but I also don't see NXT mixing with Raw or mixing with SmackDown or any combination thereof anytime in the near future. It'll be until next year's Survivor Series, I'm sure. Because now, with hopefully a lot of new eyes, NXT have to deliver. They have to continue to put on this high quality, and to be fair, so far so good. But Raw and SmackDown have left themselves with a lot to do. So hopefully we get a few surprises, and who knows? We didn't see Ronda Rousey, we didn't see CM Punk, we didn't see anyone like that, but we did get a lot of CM Punk chants, which is a shame, but when you're in Chicago, surely that's what you expect. They should have been aware of that. I'd imagine, to be fair, that they were. So those were my instant reactions for Survivor Series. If you have comments, please do share. You know where I am on Twitter. You can find me on Sportskeeter's podcast coming up next. That'll probably be the next time I actually say anything, so I'll be linking that on Twitter. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for anyone who subscribed, commented, liked, or sent me something on Twitter last time. I am very grateful that people enjoyed yesterday's video. Hopefully you'll enjoy this one. Please do let me know, because if people aren't enjoying it, there's no real point doing it. So thank you for watching, if you did in fact make it to the end, and I hope you enjoyed Survivor Series. For me, it was not as good as War Games. I would give it B-. That's an instant reaction. May change with a second viewing. It is, after all, very late at night. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Good night.